RetroUSB AVS is self-proclaimed to be the next evolutionary step in Nintendo entertainment technology, which is a little like me saying I've made the next evolutionary step in fax machine technology. Sure, the NES is an outdated platform, but this is one of the best ways to play this outdated platform's fantastic games. In this video, I'm going to be comparing it to my actual NES and mockingly comparing it with the Retron 5. The AVS supports the original NES controller and has the 4-score Pro built into it to allow you to play those 4-player games. Pop the top and it has room for the NES carts and Famicom carts. On the back it has an HDMI out at 720p, a single USB power source, and it has the port for fitting the Famicom disk system. Fitting the carts in feels snug with no room to float around, and removing them isn't like pulling the last meal out of a starving alligator's jaws. The Famicom carts are a different story, however. Sitting awkwardly in the front makes it impossible to close the lid. In fact, trying to close the lid could dislodge the game and upset the poor device. Unfortunately, it doesn't run Doom or Crysis yet and has no support for VR, but it does have a wide variety of software features. Here we have the rather unassuming AVS menu. The option to start cart is immediately there. The console allows you to input Game Genie code, change input settings, change video settings, and then upload to the scoreboard via USB. So let's start with the most interesting one, video modes. The AVS allows 60 frames per second in NTSC and 50 frames per second in PAL regions, but it plays both. That's right, it's region free. It also lets you play any game in either mode with no noticeable side effects. It allows you to choose how wide you want your pixels, so you can choose the original aspect ratio or wide, like I'm using, because I don't want to have to find borders for gameplay footage. You can have scan lines if you want, and it even lets you choose how thick you want them. One of the more interesting features is extra sprites, which reduces the flicker brought about by limitations of the original NES. Here's Castlevania with and without. You can also choose to hide overscan, but I found it doesn't really so much hide it as make it black. Don't quite understand that. I can still see it, it's not hiding anything. So how does the AVS compare to the NES? The limit of the basic video output of the NES is a SCART lead, which in itself is still a composite, which can't really compete against the AVS's HDMI. If that made no sense to you, here's a visual comparison. Zooming in on the characters, the pixels are fuzzy and poorly defined, but all in all, not a bad performance from the original NES. Now the AVS. The comparison is pretty clear. Everything is sharper, clearer, pixel perfect, as they state on the website. What this means is the AVS will look much better on modern HD TVs than the NES. Now let's see the difference in input lag. The AVS passes with flying colors, being exactly as responsive on my TV as the original NES. In comparison, the AVS plays its games better than the Retron. While it lacks the save state and filter options, it makes up by simply being better at playing the games without the lag that the Retron brings. Its visual quality puts it above the original NES as well, and its ability to play all regions with 100% compatibility puts it above both of them. All in all, the RetroUSB AVS is probably the best way to play NES and Famicom games today. Not the cheapest though. With customs charges and shipping to England, the console was about as much as a new PlayStation 4 for me. But it does exactly what I want, and if you're willing to fork out for it, you won't be disappointed with what it can do. Thank you for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.